Okay, so it's Wednesday afternoon, well approaching Wednesday afternoon now. We really haven't had a chance to do much decent filming because, as you can see, the state of me, drowned rat springs to mind. It has not stopped raining, so just going to do a little catch-up piece now, tell you about the story so far. Like I said, it's Wednesday. So we got here Sunday, and I was originally booked into Peg 9, which is down the far end of the lake, and that's the deepest part of the lake. There were fish down there, but they're just not feeding. They just stopped spawning when we turned up, so they're all scooting around the margins, eating the fry, and hence why I don't think it's fishing. That's what I put it down to anyway. It's not fishing up to usual Parco standards, shall we say. But yeah, still had some great fun under there. There was a little opportunity. There was a tree down to my right from Peg 9, and when we turned up, I saw a good group of fish down there. So on the second day, had a little look, tight little spot. I should have brought a little 9-foot rod with me, but yeah, got some fish feeding in the edge, and can't miss an opportunity like that because I was trying to cast in front of the tree, but literally if you come off, I don't know, a rod length, which is where the canopy of the tree was, which was the closest I could cast to that area from my swim, it was just in too deep a water. It's just not where the fish just don't want to be feeding in that deep water at the moment. They want to be right up onto the shallow bits. Well, you know, down that end anyway. It seemed to be. That's sort of from what I saw, you know. And yeah, we all got it on footage. I had a 50-pound mirror literally on the drop. That was quite interesting actually, and that's just sort of taken what I've seen from over there to the swims I've moved to now. I was feeding pellets, and they were feeding on all the pellets quite happily. Put a yellow pop-up in, and they wouldn't touch it, so I put a handful of corn down. They munched all the corn, and literally that 50-pound mirror took that bait on the drop. So from that I know that they love sweet corn in there, and yeah, no, I sort of brought that over here. But yeah, we had some good fun over there. There was a guy booked into this swim. The owner, Antonio, originally said they were going to go Wednesday, but yesterday they went a day early, so we saw the fish that are congregated up this end of the lake, which is the shallower end of the lake as well. So it just made sense for all of us to come round here and have a go. And yeah, I think it's paid off. I've had 4, and I've lost a couple as well. It's sort of an underwater snag where I'm fishing. A couple of the fish are just sort of grinding as you're hooking into them and feeling it, and then they're bumping off, which is a shame. But yeah, there's a little area we've got going out there. Been putting loads of bait out. Again, it's not, you know, I've had 7 fish now. I shouldn't be disappointed, but for Parco standards, it's you know, that's not great, but it's fishing hard. It's certainly, the fish ain't crawling up the rods. Sergio had a lovely 54-pound mirror this morning, so yeah, I heard him make the cry. There he is. So yeah, very chuffed with him. Martin's had a couple of fish as well, so you know, we're all catching, but we're just waiting for that kicking off hopefully, and maybe when this rain stops and a little bit of sunshine then comes in, we'll start seeing some more fish, or you know, them coming up a bit more regularly. But it's fishing, isn't it? You know, even a lake like Parco does have its weeks where it's not fishing as good as it normally does, and you know, the fish are just spawned, they're just recovering from there. There's a bay down the bottom here that's been closed because of the spawning, so there's a lot of fish sat down there because they know they're not being fished for. But yeah, no, it's going well. We're enjoying ourselves. So that's the story so far. The rods are back out again. I lost one not long ago, so I'm very confident that if I keep doing what I'm doing, I've got 2 rods going. The third rod's still playing around with it, try and get that one working. But yeah, I'm confident we'll have a few more, and hopefully bigger next. That'd be lovely.
The rain's finally stopped, and the fish, when they've been showing, have been just over halfway across this bay where they'd be expected normally to be at the far side to get the takes. It's not really happening. So I found a feature that was marked on the map just over halfway on 13 wraps. Oh, one just jumped just there just now, right on top of it. I mean, it's not a massive feature. It comes up from about 7.5, 8 metres to 6 metres, which is still 20 odd feet. So what I'll do is, I'm going to wrap this up at 13 wraps and wrap the rod up at 14 wraps. So by the time I sink on a tight line, it's going to land right on top of that bait. It's quite a big feature, so it's not, like you're trying to land it on the top of a dustbin lid or anything. Yeah, we're hopeful. Let's get this wrapped up and get some bait out there. Right, that's the bait prepared and the distance sorted out. Let's get a few sponfuls out there now. I'll leave the other rods where they are just for the moment. There's no point in having one sitting on the buttress. The areas between these two trees on out here. There. Put 20 or 30 sponfuls out and see what goes. But that's definitely the area they were moving yesterday evening and through the night. So hopefully this is going to be the one, the spot. When I come into a swim, I always find that you have preconceived ideas, but things change. You just got to keep your eyes open. Don't make any rash decisions either. Wait to see what the percentages are, where the fish are moving. They were moving to my right and to my left last night. But if there's a bay that comes in here from the left, had I put the left-hand rod on that margin, I could have been putting myself in danger of cutting the bay off a little bit, you know, with the line going right across to the other margin. Definitely not what you want. So the obvious choice is put the rods out there at the left-hand one short, the middle one can go on the far margin, and the right-hand one is just very much saying this margin. So we've kind of got it covered. This middle, that side, and this edge. What more can you do with 3 rods? No, 28. Yeah. So, carp's a carp, isn't he? So, that rod that was I put the spods out on not 2 hours ago has gone over. Lovely little fella. Not the biggest carp in the pond, but he's very nice and clean and very, very welcome. 28 pound of very, very fidgety carp. Right, let's check that hook point. Fine to me. Let's get working. New bait on that. There's a little pineapple pop-up. Short hook link, as you can see. Ronnie rig, as it's called. Put this bait back out on the spot and then get spomming over the top again. So now we've hopefully found the area, let's get them going. The faithful pineapples. Never leave home without them. Okay, we'll make the test. Perfect. There's one here, carefully sinking the line, just so as not to move the lead at all. Right on the money again. Around, saying 20 feet deep there, is around to like about 27, 28 feet around it. So, might not sound like much, but it's the only feature in this bay and one of the only like 2 or 3 features in the whole lake. Obviously the biggest feature altogether is the margin, which is why it's so exciting and good to fish, whether it's the far margin or the close-in margin, but it's nice having the open water here, where a lot of the fish have been showing. So hopefully that's the first of many to come. We'll let you know.
Yeah, so just getting the rods recast out, just got all 3 rods on the spot. About to put a bit more bait out and we're away. It's been a quite quiet day, to be honest. We moved into this swim yesterday after coming down from the other end of the lake, and yeah, it was a productive night but very quiet sort of midday. Yeah, it seems to be evening, night time, early morning, middle of the day seems quite quiet. But they've done half pulling here, so it's away from that bush now. But yeah, happy days. This will be, if we get it in. So I'm not going to say too much because I've lost a couple today actually. Well, I haven't lost them, I've had some like screaming about an hour ago. Pelting run, stripping line, and then just picked into nothing, but one of them things. So yeah, hopefully we'll get this one in, and it'd be nice if it's just the start of an eventful night, hopefully. We'll see. I had 2 rods on the spot last night, left and middle, and this is actually the right hand rod that I had on the far margin, but I haven't seen anything over there, and it's a very savage drop from the snag, so I think you're casting over there, and if all your bait and everything's ending up down in the really deep water, so I decided to chuck this right hand rod to the right of where I've been catching from. There's plenty of room up to that point on the far side there, so and from the right hand rod down to the left hand rod it just progressively gets deeper, and this was on the really shallow bit, which to be fair I've seen fish sort of bow waving off that bush most of the day, so I think they sort of go into the snags and then later on they sort of venture down that slope. Either way, it's another bite, and it has been really tough going on here this week. You know, spent the weeks leading up to this trip hearing stories about 50 fish catches, 100 fish catches, but it's not going to be one of them weeks, so I'm very happy if I get this one in. Anyway, I'm going to shut up and concentrate on this fish. Okay, so it's yeah, it turns out to be probably the smallest carp in the lake, but anyway, it's another bite, so I'm just going to slip him straight back. He's probably one that's been born and bred in the lake. You go and get bigger, matey. Okay, so as Wednesday evening draws to a close, it's first 24 hours over in peg 18? Yeah, peg 18. After moving from down the bottom part of the lake, and yeah, it's been a productive one. 4 fish last night, and a couple lost unfortunately, one aborted take, that little one that you saw earlier, and a sturgeon. So decided to put all 3 rods out on the same spot this evening. If it's anything like last night, I'll probably be back down to 2 rods, but we'll see what that does. And yeah, I'm just going to give them a load of bait, I think. Oh, getting liners already. Yeah, I'm going to give them a load more bait, and hopefully, actually a fish out of the spot there, just bubbling up. Hopefully history repeats itself from last night, and we'll have a good flurry of fish over bite time, which seems to be through the night hours and into the early morning. So just talk quickly what I've done when I got into the swim. So I wanted to find something a little bit shallower. I mean, from seeing where the fish are sort of patrolling, they seem to be in the shallower parts, and you've got that main road that goes in between peg 1 and this sort of peninsula that I'm fishing over towards, and got the marker out to start off with, and yeah, found like a little plateau. There's another fish out there, it's looking good. And just fishing the sort of shallowest part of it really. Well, it sort of progressively goes, I mentioned this earlier, from the right hand side off that peninsula, and it just sort of slopes down. So I've got 3 rods situated right to left, sort of the different depths of the, whether it's a plateau or might just be as that peninsula sort of goes down, and then it goes into a bowl, and then it goes up to the road. So it seems to be a bit of a patrol route for them. It just seemed to be the most viable option in this swim really. I haven't seen anything on them far margin snags, although that does cry out for a rod. I just haven't seen anything. I'm going around there, and I marked it, it's such a savage drop down off that margin. There's no progressive slope coming off it. I just think if you're casting over there, which we're having to do this week, all your baits are tumbling down the margin down to that really, really deep water. It's the second night in here, we'll give it a go like this. If nothing happens, then we'll think again in the morning, but this is what I'm going to do for tonight anyway. And we've got 3 more nights. Still plenty of time to have a little switch around, and we shall see what happens tonight, and hopefully see you later with the fish.
The result we had in the new peg is good, but not as we expected in terms of the number of the carp cooked. So we have decided to change our strategy, and today we are prepared a new zone about 20 meters from the bank, and we are increase a lot the bait for this area. We have decided to use pellet, up and down club mix, and to take advantage from the higher bite on the ground. Let's hope that the result will change, and let's hope that we will catch some more carp. After the second night in the new peg, finally the first fish of the session. A wonderful mirror catch in the same spot we have taken advantage yesterday. So the fish is really fantastic. He is a male just after the period of love. It's fantastic fish during this morning. Absolutely fantastic.
Okay, so there's another evening dry closes down at Parco Del Brenta. It's Thursday evening now, and in fact it's the first evening we've actually had a chance to even sit outside and do any filming, because it has not stopped raining. But yeah, we've got a nice bit of weather for the last few days, and hopefully we can pack up in the dry. It's looking that way, so fingers crossed for that. So just thought I'd take this opportunity to talk about what I've been doing bait wise and rig wise, and just a general sort of overview of everything that I've been doing. And it's all come off the back of what's gone on down doing that stalking earlier in the week. Watching them fish underneath that tree and just seeing their habits with what baits they're taking. I mean, I heard that they like small bait particles and small bits in here and small hook baits, and yeah, that's just sort of confirmed it. I was feeding bits of sweet corn. They absolutely love sweet corn in here. I was putting pellets and chopped boilie, and you know, they were feeding on it, but as soon as you put that sweet corn out, they just went straight down for it. And that's when I had that 50 pounder. In fact, the little yellow top banana pop up, it didn't even hit the bottom. It actually took it sort of halfway towards the bottom of the shelf, and before I even hit the bottom of the shelf, I should say. And yeah, sort of coming over here, and I was wanting to put loads of bait out. I know they're not feeding as hard as they normally do, but I just wanted to get some bait out. So what I've been doing is sort of spamming loads of bait out. It's God, these 10 kilo buckets. I'll probably put 4 or 5 of them out now, but you know, each day I've been preparing my baits. It's so essential, especially the boilies and these pellets we've been using, is to prepare them prior to you actually using them. So I'm going to be putting a bucket out each evening. I know now that during the night time I'm probably going to use another bucket, hopefully, but it has been done for the last 2 days. So you know, I've been preparing the boilies. You know, that's been soaking in some water and M17 liquid all day, so then pellets are all nice and mushy now. It's just so essential to get everything ready, and so you've got enough bait prepared before you run out and before you've put it all out of the lake. And when you're using this amount of bait, it's an important thing to do. So yeah, I mean, the first basis of it is crumb boilie. Like I said, just from seeing how the fish are feeding underneath that canopy down the bottom end, it really does seem quite essential to get them smooth, small food particles in your mix. So that's the main basis of it, I suppose. Some club mix, and this white bait's a little prototype that we're mucking around with. So that goes in first, and like I said, having these pellets and the whole, I've been keeping the club mix, a lot of the club mix whole just to keep the size of them pellets. That's been soaking in water and M17 liquid all day, and like I say, the sweet corn, they absolutely love it. I don't know what it is. Oh, a little knock. Yeah, they absolutely love this stuff, and then Antonio on site, he sells these. He's really struggled to get these back at home actually, but he sells these on site, and yeah, can't recommend highly enough to get that in your mix down at Parco, because they absolutely love it. Yeah, so that's really it for what I've been spomming out, but I've just been relentless. As soon as I have a fish, straight on the spom, putting another 10, maybe 20 spoms out, morning, night and day. I mean, it's very easy to get a take in the middle of the night and then not make the effort, but bite time is 12 to 6 o'clock in the morning, so it's very unsociable hours. But if you want to do well in places like the Parco, you've got to work at it no matter what the time is. You just got to get past that I can't be bothered stage when you first wake up, and sit there, have a cup of tea and crack on and make the most of these feeding spells. It's essential for you to have a good time and catch loads of fish. So yeah, so that's what I've been spomming out. Again, going from what I saw over the back there, although I did have that 50 pounder on a it was a top and hour pop up, but I pinned it to the bottom, so it was like wafter style. I was then struggling, the fish are feeding all over me, but I was struggling to get a pick up, and a lot of the spots out here are quite gravelly, rocky kind of bottoms. So I then changed over to my old faithful Ronnie rigs, again a small pop-up, 11mm pop-up, but I just think that no matter how that rig's landing, even if it's in between some bigger stones, that sort of inch high pop-ups, sitting proud of all the rubble and whatever's out there, and it's just easier for the fish to find that, as opposed to having to really dig around, and it'll hopefully be one of the first things that they come across. And from seeing what they were doing underneath that tree, every fish that approached that bait, it sucked it in, it got hooked straight away. So yeah, to support that back over here, and it's been working. So yeah, like I say, these going with the sweet corn, so top banana pop-ups, I've actually had these soaked in some E12 for a couple of weeks now. But the Winter Secret's been doing just as well, really leery pink ones. I think if you're putting so much bait out there that sometimes not, you match the hatch, or a real blatant one, they can just home in that. I've had a couple of, especially with these ones today, been chucking them out, and even before I've put the rod back on the rest, it's away. So I think they just single them brighter ones out, and yeah, that's what's been working. Said they've not been big fish, so yeah, we've had steady action for the last couple of days in this swim. Bite time has been from 12 o'clock onwards, so I'm hoping for history to repeat itself, maybe something a bit bigger. I mean, I can't grumble. Yeah, we've had 12 fish now. I've lost quite a few. Unfortunately, that spot just seems to be either littered with old line, or there's a few savage rocks or something, because quite a few of the fish have been hitting into them. It's been grating, and eventually they've been coming off, which is a shame. So, you know, if I'd landed all the ones I hooked, it'd be doing pretty well. But yeah, I can't grumble. 12 fish. It'd be nice to start getting into some bigger ones. But what I've decided to do tonight, because I really think that the smaller fish are living in all that shrubbery over the back there on that little peninsula that points out. So 2 of my rods, I've actually moved away from that area and started another spot, same distance, but I've just brought it into the slightly deeper water. So, and it's where I saw some better fish rolling this morning. So hopefully we'll see, and that might pick out a better fish if I can. That was a fish rolled right over my rod then. If I can go away with the PB, I will be absolutely over the moon. So that's the aim for tonight. It's big fish first day, so you never know, miracles do happen, and we'll keep plugging away until we go home.